What's up, you dirty nasty?
Anything else?
All right. Black fucking tide. Here we go. I'm sitting here in my bedroom, OG style. I've got a nice Irish whiskey with one large ice cube in it. The old Cheat Hawks just outlasted the Cardinals. That was a fun game to watch. Sorry for the squeaky chair. I've been trying to after last week's brutal emotional loss for me that really felt like the dagger for my season. I tried to go into this week with a little bit less emotional capital invested, and so I didn't even really watch the first half of the game. I actually got a last minute haircut scheduled. Ashley has a hairstylist that she loves, and I wanted to cut my hair before I go out to the desert for a week for Thanksgiving. As many of you know, that's a Weaver tradition. We go out there redneck style. We go glamping, motorhomes, dune buggies, ATVs, the works. It's a great time, but you're out in the desert, and with long hair, it really is kind of a nightmare, especially if there's any puddles. I don't know. I haven't really checked the weather in the Mojave Desert. Last year there was a flash flood that kind of came and wrecked our Thanksgiving. It was kind of gnarly. I remember eating outside with my deaf cousin, and we're watching the football game while chomping down on Thanksgiving dinner, and all of a sudden I just see water advancing underneath the motorhome, and that was just so. It was raining, but it wasn't raining anything crazy like that. But you know how the desert is with flash floods. You've all, I'm sure, seen videos. Not many of us have probably experienced the flash flood, but yeah, I walked around the other side of the motorhome to see what was going on. I personally thought that the motorhome water tank had burst, and that's what was happening. But no, there was actually a full-on river coming at our campsite. So that was a memorable tale from last season. And yeah, back to this year. I wanted to cut my hair before going into the desert, because if there's mud and you're riding in a dune buggy, mud gets everywhere if you're off-roading. There's no showers out there, and I just kind of have been really struggling with my hair recently. It takes a lot of maintenance for that kind of glory. And every time you sit down, your hair kind of gets caught between your shoulder blades or your back and the chair. And so the way that you sit up, actually physically you have to change the way you get up out of a chair or get out of bed. Always have to have your hair in a ponytail or contained some way. So I've really been looking forward to making the change. And as you all know, I was planning on donating it. So Ashley's pretty cool in that she likes to do fun little researchy type projects like this. So she is actually looking up foundations that make wigs specifically for alopecia. For those of you that don't know what alopecia is, that's just when a person can't grow hair normally. And she actually, one of her good friends, married, had a child. That child has alopecia, and super awesome child, great personality. But, it's just one of those things where occasionally this child will ask about hair or that whole bit. So I can't imagine growing up without hair. especially considering how much of it I've had in my experience. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. It's really interesting going from like just feet of hair to now I kind of look like I got a Karen cut almost for a moment there before the after. So for those of you that don't know, to donate your hair, basically they put your hair in several ponytails, three, one on the right, one on the left, one straight back, and you have to have at least 8 or 10 or 12 inches, depending on the organization that you donate to, below where they like have the tie off. And so basically, this hairstylist, she tied off all my hair around the same length, snip, snip, snip. And then my hair immediately just comes to rest and I look exactly like Lord Farquaad. Like it's a straight up bowl cut. Just just hilarious looking, depressing, and truly terrifying as well. But yeah, so for a moment, I even made a Lord Farquaad joke, but yeah, that passed. So now I've just kind of got this like weird Karen thing. Actually, I think I look very similar to Bucky, Captain America's best friend. I've got the like beard stubble going, and yeah, I guess I've been the strong, silent type a little bit recently. And so, yeah, that's kind of funny. Ashley had brought that up. She's like, "Wow, you look like Bucky," and that just it's always nice to be compared to a superhero. So that's cool and new. It's kind of sad, like with it being the holidays. I came home and I like haven't told anybody, right? So I'm expecting like some sort of shock and awe. And I came home and nobody's here. Kurt's up in Santa Cruz with his family. Colin's hanging out with Chels. Brad's camping, and then Sticks was in his room, and like he didn't even really see me through the hallway. So it's kind of an anticlimactic reveal, but I think that'll add to the shock tomorrow morning. Colin may post about it. Maybe not, but that'll be fun. I can't wait to see his like double take look. I should record it and try to make it into a group me GIF. So yeah, going back to tonight's game, I was getting my hair cut for the first half, and O'Malley texted me about the Metcalf touchdown early on. I watched a little bit from my salon chair, but yeah, I watched the second half at home and just kind of tried to shift my thought process from, like cheering against DeAndre Hopkins and Chase Edmonds to more so just like having somebody to cheer for in this game where, I don't really like the Cardinals. I especially do not like the Seahawks. But I like football, and having people to like cheer for to do well is exciting. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard not to be emotionally invested, but it's definitely something I'm gonna try to do moving forward. Because losing this to Stu in a week where he was trotting out some hot garbage. DJ Dallas and Kalen Ballage for his running backs. Like you expect to win this, right? Like fuck me, he's got so many injuries going on, and my team just shits the bed. It's I think the third week in a row that I've started a running back that's put up 0 or less than 1 point, and that just like is such a heartbreaking thing to have to deal with. So yeah, moving forward, less emotional, and maybe that's the secret to Bill's success. I feel like Bill is very good at like not caring, like shows up to draft weekend after hiking the Pacific Coast Trail, like, oh yeah, I haven't done any research, then just like blows up, wins the league, like no problem. Like what? How did? So yeah, I think not caring is the secret. And yeah, Scott, data point number 2, last year, zero budget, minimal effort, did better than he's doing this year, actually trying. I think that's two is enough to make a trend. Is that true? Enough to draw a line, maybe not to form a trend, but I'll leave that to the data science boys. All right, let's get into last week's picks. I actually don't have Colin or Stu's in front of me. Colin always takes those notes, but I have my own. I went 2 for 6. Thankfully, the Monday Night Magic saved me with no on scores like Gascon versus the poor NPN. Speaking of a guy who gets emotional, poor Colin. He was the you hate to love to see when Colin starts muttering to himself. I personally find it like thorough enjoyment out of him when he just like gets in this mood where he's just like grumbling and just like twitching around and just like motherfucking Karens and just saying shit under his breath. I think that is like my favorite Colin, despite the fact that it's at his expense. But yeah, so that happened with Colin and the DeAndre Hopkins Hail Mary. He just like was swearing so much. It's just so good. So thanks for pulling that one out, O'Malley. Your rise to the championship contender continues, and the Chase Edmonds trade seems to have panned out. He did well for you tonight. He scored a touchdown. Fill in the gap while you wait for Myles Gaskin to return, and then you'll be back at full strength. And the Travis Fulgham pickup was super clutch. Justin Jefferson, I think you picked him up too, right? Let's see. Nah, you drafted him. Super baller draft. Well played. Yeah. Well done, O'Malley. Kudos to you. The next matchup I got right was Peebly over Bacon. You can McKissick this dick. Yeah, what to say about this matchup? Kyler fucking Murray. Ugh, I hate him. Hate him so much. The NFC West is just chock full of scrambling quarterbacks. I guess it's only 2 out of 4, but that's enough to be annoyed by them. Kudos, Peebly. Well played. You got the low scoring W. You love to see that. Both of you guys. I mean, last week I guess was just a super low scoring week in general. Besides Adam blowing up against Max's curse, which I called that one wrong. I was betting on poor Maxwell. I gave him the commentator's curse. I was really convinced that, especially after Devontae Adams only scored 14, I was convinced that Max was going to get this one. AJ Green putting up 0. You hate to see that. That just hurts your soul. Lamar Miller didn't do anything. It's kind of tough. David Montgomery being out, you're trying to find the replacement. Sometimes there's gold. Sometimes it's fool's gold. And yeah, that's a bummer. All the guys you traded for did well. Lamar Jackson and Antonio Gibson. So you got to feel good about your trade. But yeah, not enough to get the W this time. I got We Demanded Chubbery versus Pan Dulce wrong. I got I bet on Bill over Scott, and that didn't happen. So that was weird. I don't think anybody expected that one. Yeah, no. All 4 people picked Bill to beat Scott. And that was, tough matchup. I bet on myself over Stu. Yeah, that sucks. 3 people bet on me. I think it's probably just Stu that bet on himself. who knows? Yeah. So last week's matchups, not my greatest, but it is what it is. Looking forward, yeah, I'm actually gonna pause and drink here for a second. For this week's segment, actually, I really like looking at the player lists and seeing like which players are ranked where on the season. I only started doing this after podcasting, just looking for segments, and I continually caught myself being like surprised by like the names and how like few points it really takes to get on these top 10 lists. So just starting with quarterbacks, the top 5 quarterbacks this year so far: Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. Those are some big names, obviously. Josh Allen has played one more game than everybody else on that list, so he's kind of got the advantage there. But Kyler Murray has 20 more points than Josh Allen. That's crazy. I never would have guessed that he would break out as crazy as he did, and he was drafted in the 7th round. That's awesome. That's that's how you win leagues, right? Like you sit on quarterback, you pick one in the 7th round, and he is outscoring the next quarterback by 23 points. I don't think there's like, I guess he is the biggest surprise here. Josh Allen being number 2. That's our boy Collins guy, and it's funny, drafted in the 8th round. You love to see that. Let's see, Russell Wilson drafted in the 6th. Mahomes, that's got to be like the 4th, third round. Aaron Rodgers in the 11th round. There you go. Nice, Brad. That's huge. 11th round for a top 5 quarterback. That's how you win the league. Van Dulce is yeah, I think the heaviest hitter. I don't know. Him and Stu, top 2 in the league. But yeah, those are all top 5 quarterbacks. That's the list. I'm a little bit surprised looking at the next 5. We have Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know about y'all, but I'm shocked by the Herbert and Bridgewater being on this list. We like to make a ton of fun of bong water, but the dude has actually been very solid in terms of fantasy. And he has 2 games with less than 10 points against Tampa Bay and Chicago. Those are both pretty elite defenses, but he's been very good. And then Justin Herbert, obviously, you don't really expect a rookie quarterback that was second string going into the season to be top 10 quarterback, but he's out there slanging it better than poor Tyrod. Speaking of Tyrod, what a terrible fate. Having your lung punctured by the team doctor just to get benched after being the fucking Hard Knocks spotlight again. That happened to him in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield took over the job after, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks? Dude, this poor guy's cursed. But also, good for him, because I think he's making like starter money in Clipper land. So he's just being paid buku money to sit. That's the dream. Not for like a competitor, obviously he wants to play, but yeah, that's pretty dope. Good for him. And also sad for him. Moving into wide receivers, we have top 5 here: Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, and DeAndre Hopkins. So here, I think the 2 big surprises are DK Metcalf and Stephon Diggs. I personally did not realize what I was getting with DK Metcalf. I'm so happy that I chose him. He's probably the only reason that my team is doing as well as it is. I think another really cool storyline from this list is that Devontae Adams has only played in 7 games, and he is the WR1 out of all the wide receivers. That's insane. It makes sense when Aaron Rodgers has nobody else to throw to, but he's just so freaking good. Kudos, yeah. Devontae is my shepherd. That's awesome. You love to see that. Tyreek Hill, he's one of my favorite players to watch. He's so electric. When he gets the ball, you never know what's going to happen. And then Stephon Diggs, big surprise there. I don't think anybody expected him to be a top 5 receiver, and he got drafted in the 5th round. Let's see, DK, was he in the 5th as well? Yeah, dope. So we have 2 5th round draft picks in the top 5 for receivers. 2 1st round draft picks? No. Okay, wow. Devontae, Tyreek, and DeAndre Hopkins drafted in the 2nd round. DK Metcalf and Stephon Diggs in the 5th. That's cool. The 6 through 10, we have Tyler Lockett, Adam Thielen myself, Keenan Allen, Terry Scary McLaurin, and Calvin Ridley. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Super cool. Who would have guessed that there would be 2 Seahawks in the top 10 for receivers in before the season started? Historically speaking, the Seahawks are a run-first offense, so this is wild to me. Pretty awesome to see Russ in full. Let Russ cook. We've all heard that, but to see him actually be able to sling it is pretty cool. Thielen, myself, I think we all were a little bit concerned about Thielen with Diggs gone from Minnesota, assuming that he would get more, coverage and just getting double teamed left and right. But here he is. I think Justin Jefferson being so good has really helped him as well. Kanan was a player that I didn't really understand why he was being slept on so hard in the preseason rankings. I mean, 5th round for a guy who is historically can put up big numbers. He's clearly benefited from Herbert slanging it. So that's something you love to see go your way. Scary Terry is just a baller receiver. It's fun to watch. And then, if you had told me that Calvin Ridley would score more points than Julio Jones by 20 points, he has one more game played, but both have been dealing with injuries. Calvin Ridley was the number 1 receiver through 3 weeks, I want to say. If you had told me that he was the best receiver in fucking Atlanta, I guess I heard people say that, but I didn't believe it, and it's happening. The Julio's going to be passing the torch here soon. Probably the best 1-2 combo in the league as far as receivers go. So that's pretty cool. Shockingly, Allen Robinson is next. That blew me away. And then Chase Claypool. What the fuck is that? What a nightmare. 140-point week as a receiver. Couple double-digit point weeks, and you're top top of the line, baby. That's wild. So receivers, it doesn't take much to be the best, but when you are the best, you love to have those players on your team. My God, Juju, I wish you were higher. Moving over to running backs, we have Alvin Kamara, brother. Dalvin, cook me up some more TDs. Derek Unstoppable Henry, James out of nowhere Robinson, and Josh Jacobs Jr. These 3, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, all 1st-round picks. And then James Robinson, what an a-hole. Added from waivers for $5. by all hail Kyler Murray. He took a wow. That's just such a lucky break. I remember the Jacksonville running back situation. There was like four running backs that were the supposedly going to be in a huge timeshare, and Raquel Armstead was the guy that had like won the job, but then he got COVID and he's been like hospitalized multiple times throughout the season, and that just left the door open for James Robinson. Yeah, they got rid of Leonard Fournette like out of nowhere. That shit was crazy. And now you got this pickup, and it literally has saved Pebbles' season because Saquads went down early. Obviously, you hate to see that, but you just replaced Saquads with a top five running back. So it's effectively like you never lost one. Um, that's super cool. It's awesome to see Alvin Kamara go ham finally. One Dalvin Cook has played one less game than all these guys, so he arguably could be the top running back in the league. I mean, he'll probably be top five next season. Looking through at 6 through 10, we got Kareem Hunt. Total surprise there. Aaron Jones, Zeke, Gurley, Ronald Jones the second, Todd Gurley the second as well. Antonio Gibson, that's crazy. Oh my God, who are these people? Kareem Hunt being top 10, that blows my mind. Even more crazy to me is that he did way better when Nick Chubb was in the game. Like that's wild to me. When he got the full-time starting gig, I mean, I guess his carries didn't really increase. 20 carries versus Indy. But yeah, he just did better with Chubb. That's crazy. Number 6 overall. Fuck that. Welcome back to the league, you terrible human being. Then there's Aaron Jones. He's only played 7 games. And in those 7 games, he is absolutely dominated. 129 fantasy points. That's awesome. Crazy that's what, 90 podcast math, 90 points less than Alvin Kamara though. This is why elite running backs are so important, because the drop off is so quick. Zeke, my poor Zeke, I miss you. I wish that you were in the top 5 list. Todd Gurley, you should be mine too, but I chose George Kittle. No, why? And then Ronald Jones. I think that I can't be alone in being surprised that he's this high up on the list. Looking at the game log, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games sub 10 points, but he has 2 games over 25 points. So that's what's gonna do it. Show up or blow up. Boom or bust. Who ever heard of a boom or bust running back? But that's what Ronald Jones is. And then Antonio Gibson, another backfield that I wanted nothing to do with. No thank you. I'm not touching it. Don't get me anywhere near that. But what a dumb philosophy, because even bad teams have fantasy contributors, and Antonio Gibson is clearly proof of that. So good on, and yeah, oh man, he's been a well-traveled player. First, what is it, Scott, and then to Bill, and then to Maxwell. That's fun. Moving into the fucking tight end position. Fuck my shit up. Straight up nightmare. Nightmare. Ugh. We all know the mistake that I made, but I guess this is kind of fun. So, top 5, Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, TJ Hawkinson, Jonnu Smith, Mark Andrews. You know who number 6 is? George fucking Kittle. Ugh, just Kittle me. Ugh. I'm not mad, you're mad. Kelce is on a tier of his own, 139 points. Darren Waller's the next closest, 40 points later. That's awesome. I made the biggest mistake, and I'll admit it, and I'm so sad. But I'm not getting emotional because that's not what we do here at Frisbee Touchdown. Pretty cool to see Hawk and Cock coming along. That was a fun storyline last season, and turns out that Brad has a little bit of future vision in him. Jonnu Smith is a huge surprise for me. Him being this high is bolstered by 2 double touchdown games early on in the season. He's been pretty garbage, but all tight ends are pretty garbage. Mark Andrews, clear example. Yeah, he has 3 games of double-digit points, and the rest of the season has just been pedestrian. How infuriating! I hate tight ends. I'm moving on. I'm not spiteful. You're spiteful. Ooh, the last 2 are kind of stupid, but we'll do them anyways. Kickers. I hate kickers. The top kickers are Ryan Suckup, Tyler Bass, Jason Sanders, Daniel Carson, Will Lutz. Young Hoku is number 6. Never would have. Yeah, who fucking can predict a kicker? Kickers are so stupid. Ugh. What's the rhyme or reason? Tyler Bass in Buffalo? That makes no sense. None of it makes sense. Kickers suck. I hate them. Let's ban the kicker. Hashtag changes. Moving into defenses. This one you can predict a little bit better. I'm a little surprised, though, to see these names on the list. It's Indy, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Miami, Tampa Bay. So that's just fun. I don't think anybody saw Indianapolis being on this list. It helps when you put up 28 points against the Jets. But that's my guy, DeForest Buckner, just holding it down. I miss you so much, Buckner. What a terrible decision by management. Pittsburgh, they're my guys. Baltimore, they're always good. I feel like that division, you just have to have a phenomenal defense or you're just going to flounder. Then Miami, that's the surprise team for me on this list. They've been blowing up pretty good. A lot of like defensive touchdowns. I guess only 2? No, 3. Okay, that's cool. And then Tampa Bay, yeah, welcome. Okay, moving into this week's pick'ems. This week, non-emotional week, very objective. I'm choosing with my head, not my heart, with logic. I am going with all hail Kyler Murray over the NPM. Poor Colin has suffered significantly with injuries, and that will continue this week. And let's see. Oh yeah, how did Kyler do? This is fun. There's some actual stats. Only 20 points as of right now. Colin is projected to beat all hail Kyler Murray with a whopping 9 points from Myers and only 20 out of Kyler Murray. He was supposed to put up 25. Ooh, you hate to see that. Moving into my matchup, O'Brave Sir Dobbins versus No One Scores Like Gascon. It's currently 19 versus 20 points after Thursday Night Football. Not great showings, but not terrible showings. I actually chose Gascon to win this matchup, and part of my logic was because I thought DeAndre Hopkins was going to score a bajillion points. So I survived that, but the next big test will be Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson versus the I can't try every play Dallas defense. Ugh. So those two might combine for a bajillion points. And my team's just been limping, so I project that will continue. But it's all right, because I'm actually going to go camping, so I won't even be paying attention, and it'll be super fun. The next matchup on the list, we have Bill versus Bacon. I'm going to go with, I went with Bill, and he somehow is right on schedule with his projected points after Thursday Night Football. All of his players did really well. Kenyon Drake, Tyler Lockett, and Russell Wilson. Looked like Russell Wilson got banged up there for a minute, but both him and Kyler Murray took some licks. But yeah, I think Bill's gonna rally back after putting up the league low last week. He might send it full send. He might win the money this week. I hope I do, but I think Bill will. Then, actually, truthfully speaking, I think O'Malley will. If that Dallas game goes the way it should. Next up, we got Stu versus Chubbery. I demand more Chubby. I think that Stu last week trotted out better running backs than he is this week. Somehow, he's choosing to start Cam Akers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night. Woof. He's going to have to wait till Monday? Oh, man, that's tough. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey coming back and then getting hurt immediately sucks. Chris Carson still injured. That sucks. David Johnson being concussed so bad that he went on IR. That sucks. Interestingly enough, Stu's going with Herbert over Watson. So that's exciting. Yeah, I think Evan takes this. Moving into the sad matchup of the week, we got the Mario Party versus On My Way to the Shitter. This reminds me of lower class Americans, like rednecks being racist. Like, oh yeah, they suck. No, you suck. No, they suck. I don't know. It's just fucking cellar dwellers just beating each other up. That's what's gonna happen here. I actually chose Scott to win this one. I hope that he can pick up a kicker. And I actually hope that he's doing well health-wise. That was kind of scary to hear, the old hospital visit and then it not going well. Life is fragile, and we often forget that, especially when we sit on our couches on Sunday and just are fuming over meaningless things like DeAndre Hopkins catching a Hail Mary touchdown to beat you. Or losing to somebody who started the third and fourth string running backs on a team. Last but not least, we got Devontae is my shepherd versus Pan Dulce. We got two very sketchy, questionable tags for Brad. DeAndre Swift got concussed midweek, like in practice or something. So he's unlikely to play. And then Alvin Kamara, questionable tag out of nowhere, didn't practice. So with that information, and conversely, I don't know if that's the right word. Devontae Adams has a Q2 and he didn't practice. I'm going with Adam, but that's, just with the objective hope that Devontae Adams plays and Kamara and Swift do not play. I think Brad's team is one of the fiercest in the league when fully healthy, and he's had some terrible luck with injuries this season, and he's still in third place. So his team is really good. But this is my upset of the week that I'm rolling with. So that's fun. And those are all the picks. I wish you all a great Thanksgiving weekend. It's pretty premature. It's like saying goodbye and then walking to the cars together. But just for this outro, I love you guys, man. I really do. I have so much appreciation for when I'm sitting and watching football, and I'm just like attached to group me, and just like me and Adam going on a string back and forth together of banter, and then somebody like makes fun of us, tells us to get a room. That like I don't remember when that happened, but that is firmly in my memory. I love all of our camaraderie. I love our shit talk. It's ruthless at times. Sometimes like I can get into a mood and just really like be a Debbie Downer, and then like I'll just chime in to everybody roasting Colin's team name, and it just like will pick me up. So yeah, I miss you all. I really really do appreciate our time together. I'm happy to do this podcast, and the fact that you all listen is just like so cool. We're so lucky to have this network that we do, and yeah, I guess I'll cheers the computer screen, and I'll sign off. Good luck to everybody except for O'Malley, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Cheers.
What's up, you dirty nasty?
Anything else?